rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events. This is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. I am your host, Rick. Oh, my goodness. So we've got some truth bombs for the leftists tonight. That's right. The truth bombs are coming. And hey, really quick shout out, Jarhead. It's music. Copyright on music goes 100 years, not 50. So I don't know if it's still under copyright or not, but it could be. Anyway, moving on. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look around. Oh boy. Looks like I'm going to be singing happy birthday. Looks like I'm going to be singing happy birthday to somebody. Looks like it's Ms. T's birthday. Or is it Nana's birthday as well? All right, somebody clarify that for me because it looks a little weird in the chat. It looks like they're congratulating both of you. If both of you are there, then okay, I'll sing once and you guys will both get it. But anyway, you guys, tell me which one, please. I'm lost. Anyway, all right, let's go ahead and oh, so I missed yours, Nana? Oh, man. All right, I missed a birthday. That's not good. Nobody reminded me. Come on. You're my unofficial producers. You're supposed to, help me out with this. Anyway. All right. Those are all my Whiskey Warrior P1s that are over, all over the Rumble. If you haven't gone over to Rumble, if you haven't checked it out, you really should. You should go and sign up, sign in, and then, of course, chat with a fantastic group of patriots and loyal Whiskey Warrior P1 listeners over there. All right. I feel like I'm missing something, and I just figured out that I am missing something. And I got to get, I'm hoping I can get this, let's see. What I am missing is I'm missing the setup on the Pet of the Week. I have a Pet of the Week, and I do not have it prepared. So just give me just a quick moment. While I'm doing this, why don't you all just remember that tonight is...
Down to business.
That's the nectar of the gods, baby.
That's right. Tonight is Whiskey Wednesday. It's like Taco Tuesday, but for bad asses. And, of course, since tonight is Whiskey Wednesday, that means I am drinking a whiskey for tonight's show. And you'll have to give me just a moment to get rid of a... okay, here we go. See, this is what happens when you don't have an actual producer on site and you're doing it all yourself. Anyway, tonight I am drinking Buffalo Trace. As you can see, I'm getting down to the bottom of the bottle. So sooner or later, I'm going to have to go and get another couple of bottles of stuff. And, of course, I am drinking it out of the True Grit Roots Network. That's right, True Grit Roots Network glass. Because tonight is Wednesday, and it is True Grit Roots Network night. Speaking of that, they are our headline sponsor. We'll get to them in just a moment. But first, we need to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And tonight's pledge is brought to you, performed by Kat Pekarik. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't recall if I've seen Kat in the last 24 hours. I don't know if she was here last night. I think she was here the other night, but Kat Pekarik is up for tonight's pledge. So if you are of mind, please stand, remove your hat if you're wearing one, like me, and follow along with Kat Pekarik as she recites the Pledge of Allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This land is your land, America the beautiful. God bless America.
All right, and of course, we thank you, Kat, for that wonderful rendition of the pledge. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself performing the pledge in your style, then take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, attach it to an email address and send it off to me. Send it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online, and I will get you into the rotation. I'm looking for number 21. And by the way, if you happen to want to do it on your phone, the way that you can get the file sent to me is use the share option on your phone. Just click share, and you will send. You will be able to send it to me. Send it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. Looking for number 21, so if you haven't done one yet, I'd love to get 21 in the books. I need to get 21. I've got 20. I need 21. So I would love to do that very, very soon. All right. Oh, 3 Chevy wants me to call it the Sonny and Cher option. Cher as in C-H-E-R, not S-H-A-R-E. Kat got here for the end of her pledge. Well, congratulations. Thank you, Kat, for sending that in, and we do appreciate it. All right, so where am I? Let's see, we've done Whiskey Wednesday, we've done that. All right, here we go. Let's go to our headline sponsor, because it's time. And, of course, it isn't. You know, I was running a little bit behind today in putting this stuff together, so I apologize for this, but let's go ahead. There we go. Of course, tonight's headline sponsor is True Grit Roots Network. That is TGRN, True Grit Roots Network. We have 2 radio channels, one being Walter Trout Blues Rock Radio, the other being Dallas Moore Outlaw Radio. You got to go and check out both of them. You can do so at tgrn.net. You can go to tgrn.net. That's our home on the web, and you can listen to both channels right there. You can see it right there on the screen. I got it on the screen. You can see there's the 2 players. You just hit the play button on either one and play. I wouldn't recommend hitting them both at the same time because that just causes a serious. I mean, I've tried that before. I've actually tried to listen for technical purposes. Tried to listen to the incoming feed from one server and the incoming feed from another server, and believe me, your brain gets fried after about 10 seconds of doing that. You get so confused. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but hey, try one, play it for an hour, then try the other. And play it for the hour, and then figure out which one you like. And if you end up liking both, which is fantastic, then you can just switch back and forth in between the 2 of them. You really should, because it's fun to listen to both. They have fantastic on-air personalities and great music between the 2 of them. But hey, if you want to carry us along with you on your mobile device, there's an easy way to do that. Oh, wow, you can download our app. And there they are. There's the 2 little clicks. All you got to do is pick, well, obviously you'll know which one you have, but click on either the App Store or the Google Play underneath the logos, which will give you either Walter Trout Blues Rock Radio app or the Dallas Moore Outlaw Radio app. And take us with you. Carry us with you. Play us anywhere you go on your mobile device. So that's what you need to do. And then if you've got both, you can again switch back and forth. You can switch to one channel when you don't like what's being played on one, course, you're going to like it all anyway, so, I mean, let's be honest. You're going to like everything on it, I promise. No, I know that's unrealistic, but still. Go and do that. Go to tgrn.net. Check out all of our, both of our apps. Check out all of the information on both of our stations. And you can also click the shop button here. Let me highlight it for you right here. See it right there at the top of the screen, just to the left of my closed captioning. It's flashing in red. Click that shop button, and you'll go to our TGRN, True Grit Roots Network store, where we have fantastic t-shirt, logoed t-shirts, hoodies, and caps, where you can buy those. Show off your pride. Show off whatever station you like, or show off True Grit Roots Network. Do it today. Grab your gear. And hey, if you have somebody that you know that loves one of the TGRN networks, or even just loves both and says, hey, I just want TGRN, True Grit Roots Network gear for Christmas, you better get it in soon. Better get it soon. I've been being told that mid-December is like the cutoff point for a lot of this stuff to get it there in time. So, yeah, go ahead. Head on over to shop.tgrn.net or click on the shop button in the menu bar at the top of the page at tgrn.net. TGRN stands for True Grit Roots Network, and we are based out of Austin, Texas. All right. No, that's enough of that. That took a while. I expounded upon everything that was going on. Speaking of expounding upon things, you know those leftists that all left America? Yeah, and they said, oh yeah, we're gone. We're not coming back. In particular, Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah, Ellen DeGeneres and her wife, I guess. I don't know. How does anybody figure that out? I mean, if you're two women getting married, who's the wife and who's the husband? Or if you're two men getting married, who's the wife and who's the husband? I don't know. Anyway, Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi left when Trump got elected and said, we're never coming back. Yeah, right. That was a lie. That was a total lie, because apparently they can't stand the winters over in the UK. So reportedly, they've told friends that they are heading back to the United States for a little bit of time here and they want to go to the California. Oh, they want to go to the California area. She's apparently been telling some of her friends in LA that they are coming back to California for the winter. Oh, I guess these people, I dare say, I don't want to call them out. Oh, that was bad. Oh, Rick, you really, yeah, no, I'm not going to say it. But anyway, these two have decided to come back to LA for the winter because they miss them. They miss their friends. They can't take the winters. Portia wants to act again. Yeah, they're going to be here for the holidays and longer by the sound of it. So, yeah. I guess leaving is not their choice of things to do. You know, they really freaking, yeah, come on, folks. Let's be honest. They're probably coming back because they're tired of the UK, period. See, these people, I'm telling you, these leftists, they take off, okay? They take off, they say, we're not coming back, and then all of a sudden they come back because they all of a sudden realize that there is no greater place than America. Really? I mean, come on. Why even leave in the first effing place? But anyway, they left. Now, they left because of the fact that they didn't like Trump. But yet now they're coming back. And Trump isn't even really finished his first year yet. All I forgot to give my requisite first sip, so there you go. Wow. Anyway. Yeah. Now, to be honest, I mean, DeGeneres has been selling off much of her U.S. real estate, and has got another property up for sale right now. She sold one in Montecito, and has got another property up for sale. And apparently, the pair has sold off their first home that they moved in the UK. Yeah, so I guess America is the only one who, America is the only place to actually go. All right. Well, speaking of America, the leftists don't like this one. If you live in Tennessee, which I think I've got a couple people that are living in Tennessee or have been to Tennessee or have relatives in Tennessee. But anyway, if you live in Tennessee, Tennessee had a very special election, and by very special, I mean off election day election. And Tennessee voters crushed Democrat hopes because the Democrats thought that they were going to get the crazier. You know, I didn't know that there was a person that could be considered crazier than AOC. But anyway, this crazy individual, and in the Democrat Party, Afton Bean. Yeah, Afton Bean. Well, apparently these two were like neck and neck for a little while and so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden, I guess toward the end of the night, the GOP, Matt Van Epps started pulling away and he actually won. Now, of course, the left are sitting here saying, oh, well, you know, Trump won Tennessee by 22 points and the actual margin wasn't that great between, you know, Van Epps and Bean. Well, I just want to point something out, folks. And I could be completely wrong about this. I'm just going to preface this with the caveat. I could be completely wrong about this. But the fact of the matter is that this is an off-year election. It's a off-election day election. And so, yeah, everything is, you know, I mean, seriously, the margin probably would have been bigger had it actually gone on election day, even in an off year for this. But, yeah, anyway, Van Epps, in his victory statement, said this race was bigger than just one campaign. It represented a defining moment for Tennessee and for the direction of the country. Early returns showed him leading by roughly 9 points. So, yeah. Anyway, now the left is sitting here saying, oh, that's a competitive race. Well, again, like I said, you have to take into account it was a off year, which are usually low turnout anyway, and it was off election day election. So, there you go. Anyway. So, yeah. When asked about the margin on the quote-unquote election day, Van Epps told Fox News Digital, a win is a win. He also added, and we're going to press as hard as we can to win by the biggest margin we can, and then we're going to hold the majority in 2026. Yeah. Bean was a nutcase. Seriously, a nutcase. She was just off the rocker. Oh my gosh. Now she, in her conciliatory statement, I guess, said, she goes, for me, we've already won over the hearts and minds of so many Tennesseans and across the country. What starts here changes this country. She continues and says, I think the electorate is shifting to accept a candidate like me that has a progressive track record. Well, yeah, we've noticed that there's been a lot of shifting. There's been a lot of shifting for you idiots that are out there like this. So anyway, well, I mean, congratulations for Tennessee. All right. Now, you know that we've been having some serious problems, shifting gears here. Speaking of shifting gears, you know that we've been having a lot of problems with commercial driver's licenses being handed out to illegal aliens who shouldn't even have them. Many of them have been found not to be able to even speak English, which is a requirement to hold a CDL. Well, apparently the Department of Transportation under Sean Duffy, which, let's be honest, the Department of Transportation under Buttigieg would have just ignored this. But Sean Duffy is actually doing something about it. There have been nearly 3,000 commercial driver's license training providers that have been removed from the federal registry, and there's an additional 4,500. So for those of you who do quick math, that's 7,500 CDL training providers. But 4,500 of those CDL training providers were put on notice for potential non-compliance. Yep, they are cracking down to try and get rid of these places. So it's, by the way, these are all doing a crackdown on illegal test training centers. The changes were made in the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration's training provider registry, which lists all centers authorized to offer entry-level driver training and whose regulations set the minimum federal training requirements that entry-level drivers must complete. So the FMCSA did a compliance review of 16,000 CDL training providers and found the 3,000 that were failing to equip trainees with the Trump administration's standards of readiness for drivers. Now, these centers that were shut down or kicked off, okay, falsified or manipulated training data, failed to maintain accurate and complete documentation, refused to provide records during federal investigations or audits, and neglected to meet the required curriculum standards, instructor qualifications, or facility conditions, according to the Department of Transportation. Duffy said the administration is cracking down on every link in the illegal trucking chain. Wow. Boy, that was harder than I thought to say. Anyway, he continued and said, under the previous administration, bad actors were able to game the system and let unqualified drivers flood our roadways. And we have clearly seen that by all the accidents and deaths taken by these illegal CDL drivers. So, anyway, good on the Department of Transportation for doing what they need to do in order to get things done and fix things. So, yeah. Uh-huh. And let's see. Okay. So, moving on, we've got let's see. There it is. We've got a Scott Jennings Truth Bomb. That's right. Scott Jennings has got a truth bomb coming up right here. Oh, this is a good one. Anyway, he was apparently at the Manhattan Institute on some sort of a panel. And we've got video here. I'm going to play a video here in just a second. But he was asked a question with regards to our favorite grease ball potential Democrat presidential candidate in 2028, known as Gavin Newsom. Yeah, Scott Jennings was asked a question about it, and you got to listen to the answer that he gave. Take a listen.
My concern now is this guy on the West, Newsom. He's overcome repeal and impropriety and blatant corruption, photographs, videos, everything, and he still just keeps showing up, and he's got, he's well capitalized. Where is he on your radar?
Somewhere between Chuckles and Bozo on my clown scale. I mean, one of the least serious national people out there, a complete and total clown. And now there are Democrats, so they sometimes nominate complete and total clown, oftentimes nominate complete and total clown. So I guess I shouldn't discount it totally, but he is so inauthentic. That is in this book, and what I think we all know, it's authenticity is really the only thing that matters right now in politics and media. Trump has changed everything. These people who exude inauthenticity fail almost every time. Harris was the most recent example. She could not exist in a world that demanded authenticity. I view him that way. And so I don't see it. I'm not a Democrat, so maybe I can't see it. But I think that if you want to turn the rest of the country into California, that's a choice. But I think most Americans wouldn't regard that as a good choice. And so I don't personally see it, but I guess we'll see what they want to do. But I think I think he is in politics for literally all the wrong reasons. And I think people kind of sense it.
So there you go. Truth Bomb. That's tonight's Scott Jennings Truth Bomb. And I got to admit, he's right. Gavin Newsom, I don't even know how he's survived all of this time, to be honest with you, within politics. I mean, he should have been completely, 100%, utterly demolished in that recall, event. But of course, this is California, and California is filled with a bunch of stupid morons. They've got two more going with Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi going back for Christmas and the winter, because we don't like the winters. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So there you go. Oh, now, to be fair, Newsom actually has not announced publicly yet whether or not he's running. And in fact, on CBS News Sunday morning in October, he said that he would decide whether or not he was going to join into the 2028 Democratic presidential primary after the 2026 midterm elections. So, yeah. And so we'll just have to kind of see. In March, he apparently said, for an example, this is one of his flip-flopping things, which again, I don't even understand. I totally don't understand this whole idea that, people, well, the leftists in particular are so damn dumb. I really can't quite grasp it. And I've been arguing with a couple of morons on Facebook back and forth because they keep saying things and I keep telling them, where's your proof, and they don't provide it. Which the thing about the difference between a leftist stupid moron and a conservative is a conservative, it looks for evidence, facts, truth, reason, logic within things. A leftist just believes whatever it is that they're being force-fed by the mainstream media, because they don't have two brain cells, generally, don't have two brain cells to rub together. And, one of those two still keeps coming back saying, I'm more intelligent than you are. Yeah, still, he doesn't prove it. But whatever. Anyway, so yeah, he, one of the things that, of course, Newscomb is known about here recently was that he was on his This Is Gavin Newsom podcast with none other than the late, great, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And they were talking about biological men competing in women's sports. And he, of course, Gavin Newsom admitted the truth, which is that, yeah, it's deeply unfair. And that, of course, drew pushback from Democrat officials and activists, and so he had to flip and go, yeah, well, that's not really how I feel, or something along those lines, because obviously he is sucking at the teat of the Democrat leftist lunatic base, if he has any inkling of being in even possibly being in the running for a primary position in the Democrat Party. So, yeah. Anyway, there was a Emerson College poll that tested potential general election matchups between Newsom and J.D. Vance. And this was done back in October, and 46 found support for Vance, 45 were backing Newsom, and 10 were undecided. So, yeah. Anyway. I guess my closed captioning didn't like something that I said, or it couldn't figure out what I was saying. But anyway. All right. Well, let's get into another truth bomb. And this one actually is serious. I am so sorry for the people who have to figure out whether or not this is really what caused the death of their child in 2020 and 2021. But the FDA has finally started investigating the VAERS results. Now, for those of you that don't know, the VAERS is, I'm trying to find it here, Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System. So, for those of you that don't understand what VAERS is it's basically a publicly accessible, publicly driven reporting system for vaccine adverse events. Now, these adverse events can be anything from a mild, like, oh, I got some pain in my shoulder where I got the shot, all the way up to, oh my God, I died because I got the shot and I was dead like 48 hours later. I mean, I don't know how somebody who's dead is going to report that, but hey, whatever. It's probably one of their siblings or parents or children or something like that calls us out. Well, VAERS has been tracking the COVID-19, the COVID-19 shots and the vaccinations, or the supposed vaccinations, because let's be honest, the COVID-19 shots are nothing more than a flu shot. They are not vaccinations. A vaccination would be one shot or maybe two, like one shot and a booster a few years later, and you're done. You don't need it anymore. And this continual, it's more of a therapy. It's not really a vaccine. So let's be real about that. I mean, again, the government changed the definition of vaccine in order to make sure that the COVID-19 actually fit within that. But anyway, the FDA has finally come around to start looking at the VAERS system. And it turns out they have found that at least, and this is reporting in the Epic Times, if you're interested, it's in the show or in the video description. They have found at least 10 deaths of children were related to COVID-19 vaccinations. Folks, it's stuff like this that the government was attempting to cover up during the Biden administration, was attempting to prevent during the Biden administration, and you need to understand that anyone under the age of 50 with less than 4 comorbidities, you had a likelihood of dying of around 1% or less from COVID. Okay? So to have the demonstration here, the admittance that, yes, actually people did die from the COVID-19 vaccination. And in this particular case, you're looking at children who essentially were in the lowest percentile of possibility of death from COVID, yet everybody in all their fear-mongering hysteria ran out and tried to get their kids vaccinated because of the fact that they looked at it as, oh my God, my child's going to die. without actually like looking at the reality of the situation, which essentially was they had a low, very low risk of possibility of death out of this. I mean, they were children under the age of 18. Most of them, regardless of how many comorbidities they actually had, children under the age of 18 were at the lowest possible risk for death from COVID-19. And yet here they are. Now, the person in charge is Dr. Vinay Prasad. And he mentioned in a internal memorandum that was sent on November 28th that was obtained by the Epoch Times, quote, "This is a profound revelation." Now, for those of you that don't know, Prasad is the head of the FDA's Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research and was one of the early opponents of keeping COVID-19 vaccines available for younger people. And he has supported COVID-19 vaccinations for seniors and younger people with underlying conditions. The FDA regulates, of course, the vaccines and drugs that were used, and this new finding means that there should be, well, it says there will be changes moving forward, regulators said. You have to ask the question, if they're finding out now that at least 10, they're not admitting to exact numbers, but they're saying at least 10 children died being connected to the COVID-19 vaccine. You have to wonder, as 3 Chevy points out, how many adults died because of the COVID-19 vaccinations. You know, the continual boosters, the first booster, second booster, 3 booster, 4 booster, 15, 20, whatever boosters they ended up being on. Okay. So, yeah. Now, the investigation that has uncovered this was spurred by concerns that the previous administration misled the public about the harms of the COVID-19 vaccines, that what they can cause, including myocarditis or heart inflammation, which is exactly one of the things that was uncovered about this non-longitudinal study launched vaccine. Now, look, I know if you're a leftist, I get it. You're going to say, well, Trump authorized it. He did Operation Warp Speed. Why aren't you blaming him? Well, first of all, yeah, I am going to kind of sort of blame him. That was one of his most abysmal decisions, I think. And he was reacting realistically to public pressure in that case. Okay. And so I'm sitting here and hey, you know what? To me, that was one of the most abysmal decisions that he made. He followed Fauci, who was supposedly the god of, you know, all things healthy. And, yeah, speaking of him, I mean, apparently his pardon's been thrown out. But the point being is that, folks, this was an experimental drug. And it was pushed on people, especially those in the military. Trump is not a virologist. Trump is not a medical person. He is not somebody who necessarily is going to have it. See, this is one of the things that a lot of people have a misconception that presidents and CEOs and all of these people, they have like this, there's this wide base, ultra knowledge. No, they depend on experts. And when the experts screw up, like Fauci did, okay, rather than Fauci going, well, damn, I'm sorry, that was a mistake, and basically accepting the responsibility for it, when they cover up and they try to blame somebody else, what ends up happening is you end up with this situation. Because Trump is essentially, simply, in the reality of the situation, was the CEO of a company at the time. The company was the federal government. And unfortunately, in situations like this, you tend to turn to the experts. You tend to try and look at the people who are supposed to be knowledgeable, have a full grasp and understanding of what is going on. And unfortunately, in our case, nobody had it. Okay? And so that's what you do as a good manager, good executive. You wrap yourself with experts and people who actually know what is going on, and then you have to trust that those people have upward, have non-nefarious intentions. So anyway, the point being is that this individual, Hoeg, let's see, what's her name? Tracy Beth Hoeg, Hoeg, started looking into the reports that were lodged in the VAERS system and went and found that some of the deaths among the children were following the COVID-19 vaccination and were actually due to the receipt of the vaccine. So, he, by the way, he also claimed within the memo, he said, if anything, this represents a conservative coding. The real number is likely higher. And millions of children received the COVID-19 vaccine during the pandemic. They were first authorized for some teenagers in 2020 and later made available to children as young as 6 months of age. Now, Prasad, who was the doctor who started this, he says that casualty is easy to assess in a randomized trial, but with case reports such as those in VAERS, causality is assessed on a scale ranging from certain to unlikely. In this scale, deaths ruled as certainly, likely, or probably linked to vaccination are broadly considered as related to the product. Now, VAERS reports can include documents such as autopsies, medical testing, death certificates, which are all written by medical examiners. Do you remember those pictures that you had from all these MEs that were pulling these like long tentacle things out of people's veins after death? And they were laying them out on the table and taking photos and saying, where the hell did this shit come from? Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, the FDA has not released details of the assessed deaths, such as the ages or how the vaccines are believed to have played a role yet. Similar investigations in other countries have also featured ruling out other possible causes. So, yeah. This is bad. And to think that these manufacturers of these vaccines, as a part of Operation Warp Speed, were given immunity from prosecution. Okay, now we have to be very careful to understand what that actually meant. It meant that if the company itself did not know about the risks associated, then they have immunity. But as we found out, if you recall, I got a memory that's longer than last year. Okay. Granted, I mean, I'm suffering from CRS and sometimers every once in a while, but so far my memory is still sharp. I seem to recall that Pfizer document that came out that actually demonstrated that there were actually deaths within that trial run of their vaccine. Now, I'm not saying that that was that this is absolutely for certain that you were going to die because of this vaccine. No. But the simple fact that they actually had deaths during their trial run and tried to hide it through legal means, basically saying in court, oh, it's going to take us 75 years to produce all of our documents. Folks, we need to figure out what the hell happened here. Now, I got to say, for me personally, I did not get the vaccine. And the reason being that I did not get the vaccine is because I did not have a bunch of the comorbidities. I knew the death rate. And granted, I was in the upper level of the potential risk factor ranges. Okay, I still felt that I didn't need it. And it turns out I was right. In fact, I have not had anywhere a single diagnosis of having ever caught COVID, period, at all, during this entire system. Now, members of my family did have positive test results from those PCR tests, and we could get into all of that if you really wanted to. But I personally have never been tested positive for COVID-19, even up to this day. So, yeah. Anyway. And in fact, I didn't even see this in the article. I just read this. I didn't recall this. So, federal officials previously found evidence that the COVID-19 vaccines from Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna caused deaths among multiple people, according to documents obtained by the Epoch Times and reported back in 2024. And medical professionals have listed the vaccination as a cause of death for some of the children. So we're just now starting to get these things figured out. And this, honestly, I mean, I'm going to be real with you folks. These past 5 years, roughly, I'm just guessing, this is a small segment of time, is probably one of the most significant. I mean, think about this. Think about this. We had a pandemic that wasn't necessary for a virus that had a much greater survival rate than, say, the 1918 flu. We had a non-compos mentis president. We had who, by the way, was proven to be taking money from foreign entities prior to his election as president. And I mean, how many scandals have we packed in the last 5 years about all of this stuff? I mean, seriously, how many scandals do we have here? I'm a little. We had a incoming president being spied on illegally, spied on. An entire coup has been attempted now multiple times. We now have, even today, we're still not out of this this particular section of history, because even today we have Congress people trying to foment disloyalty and insubordination within the troops. Okay. I mean, this is freaking ridiculous here, folks. And we now have all this evidence that this is not a good thing. And I'm sorry for everybody who got onto the fear wagon and, went and got all these shots and everything else. I am truly hoping that you do not suffer adverse effects from this thing. But I got to tell you, in terms of my thought processes and understandings of what was going on, I got to tell you, man, that just proved to me that I actually do know how to think critically, that I do know how to think and understand and can clearly articulate things. I have good reading comprehension skills. It just proved it to me. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and get on with, hey, you know what? Let's talk about this wonderful bundle that's out there. I'm going to take a break and then we'll come back. And when we come back, we'll get on to another series of stories that the left is not going to like. Looking for smarter ways to browse and enjoy your favorite content without ads? Well, you have an opportunity to get the Perplexity Pro Bundle with Rumble Premium. for just $19.99 a month when you sign up before December 31st. Now, we're into December right now. You got to sign up soon, folks, to get the Perplexity Pro bundle with Rumble Premium for just $19.99 per month when you sign up before December 31st. Now, this is normally a $29.99 value. But if you sign up before December 31st, it's just $19.99 a month. With Rumble Premium, you'll get an ad-free viewing experience across all of your devices and access to exclusive premium content. No interruptions, just the videos and the streams that you love anytime, anywhere. Like this show. Plus, the Perplexity Pro boosts your productivity with unlimited research, unlimited uploads, exclusive member perks, and the access to the latest and most advanced AI models for faster, smarter answers every day. With this offer, you save over 30% on this powerful bundle. So how do you get the bundle? Let me tell you. You head to rumble.com/premium before December 31st to sign up and unlock your premium experience. Save over 30% on this powerful bundle by going to rumble.com/premium. For those that don't know, that / is the question mark key. Rumble.com/premium before December 31st to save over 30% on the Perplexity Pro bundle with Rumble Premium. It's just $19.99 a month when you sign up before December 31st by going to rumble.com/premium. All right. Well, Trump is continuing his war on immigration. He has frozen immigration applications from 19 different countries today. And the blacklist, according to sources, could expand to more than 30 countries. So, sources told the New York Post, where I'm getting this, that the list could grow to 30 nations or more. In a 4-page memo issued late on Tuesday, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services directed a hold on green card and citizen applications from countries, 19 of them, that are deemed to be high risk for producing terrorists and other national security threats. Now, these you also have a hold on requests for benefits from those particular nations. And that would be pending a comprehensive review. Now, here's the 19 countries that are affected by this order. It is Afghanistan, Burma, Burundi, Chad, Cuba, the Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Eritrea, however you pronounce it, Haiti, Iran, Laos, Libya, Sierra Leone, Somalia, Sudan, Togo, Turkmenistan, Venezuela, and Yemen. The USCIS also announced a hold on all pending asylum applications regardless of country. Regardless of country. The USCIS has determined that a comprehensive review, potential interview, and re-interview of all aliens from high-risk countries of concern who entered the United States on or after January 20th, 2021 is necessary. That was all part of the memo. And at the later on in the memo, it says the USCIS has considered that this direction may result in delay to the adjudication of some pending applications and has weighed that consequence against the urgent need for the agency to ensure that applicants are vetted and screened to the maximum degree possible. So there you go. He is actually doing what he said he's going to do, which is something that the Biden administration sure as hell did not. Well, you know, the leftists have all sat here and talked about, oh, yeah, you know, those illegal immigrants that are coming in, yeah, they can't get benefits. They can't get on Medicaid, Medicare. They can't do all of that stuff. They can't get on welfare or SNAP or any of that crap. Yeah. Anyway, there's a new report out that demonstrates how many illegal immigrants actually receive Social Security numbers from the Biden administration. Wait a minute. I thought they couldn't get Social Security numbers. Ha, ha, ha. Not under Biden. Under Biden just let them go. So in 2021, Senator Dick Durbin actually told Senator Ted Cruz that undocumented immigrants, read that as illegal aliens, folks, okay, illegal aliens, do not have Social Security numbers, and they do not qualify for stimulus relief checks, period. Now, keep in mind, the Social Security number, which was originally supposed to be just a number to identify you to the government for Social Security benefits only, it was not originally put in for any kind of identification, but immediately blossomed into some sort of an identification process, even so much so that the military actually went over to, they got rid of their old service number idea and went to your Social Security number as your service number. But I digress. Anyway, Social Security numbers make it possible to get things like loans, bank accounts, jobs, government benefits, all things that Democrats say illegal aliens weren't getting, including things like stimulus relief checks. Well, according to this new report, my folks, according to this new report and amplified by libs of TikTok, here we go. Take a look at this. There we go. New non-citizen Social Security numbers issued. Yeah. In 2021, 270,000 plus. 2022, 590,000 plus. 2023, 964,000 plus. And in 2024, folks, 2,095,000 plus. Seriously. You add all of that up and you're looking at, I'm just going to roughly put a thumb on it, 4 million plus. 4 million plus non-citizen Social Security numbers have been issued under the Biden administration. These are things that non-citizens are not supposed to have, because a non-citizen is not supposed to get Social Security. They are not supposed to be qualified for Social Security. They're not supposed to be qualified for all of these other programs that are supposed to go to American citizens who are having trouble. I mean, seriously, folks. You're going to sit here and believe the Biden administration did not do this on purpose? Now, to be fair, Elon Musk and Doge pointed this out back in March, okay? But still, it's like, seriously? Come on. This is what the left doesn't want you to know. Now, it's going to be interesting to kind of see where FY, fiscal year 2026 numbers are going to show. Now, here's the other thing, too. Keep in mind that to demonstrate citizenship, one of the things that you can use in many states is your Social Security number to register to vote. So this is going to be some more value. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Democrats have completely lied about all of this. And you leftists who are out here who sit there and think, oh, this is just fabulous. This is so fabulous. No, this is not fabulous. This is a literal fraud and ripoff of the American people. Speaking of fraud, remember how I told you about the fraud that was happening in Minnesota? That Somalis were coming here and causing all kinds of fraud in the food, that children's food NGO program, and that Minnesota's Governor Walz was sitting there and going, yeah, yay, yay, this thing, I feed kids. You remember that when he ran on that to try and be vice president of the United States? I feed children. I feed kids in schools. Yeah, he wasn't feeding kids in schools. He was getting money ripped off from him. Or, well, not from him, but from the state and the federal government. Well, these people, again, are morons. So on Tuesday's broadcast of CNN's Laura Coates Live, St. Paul, Minnesota Mayor Melvin Carter said that the charges against several individuals for fraud in the state are another example that we actually don't need federal agents in their community. Wait, what? Because of the fact that you've got people who are committing fraud in your state, you're now sitting here saying that, oh, no, it's just, we don't need them. We don't need them anymore. Yeah, he's calling them. He's saying that the federal agents are doing quite the opposite by providing what is called a destabilizing force. Destabilizing what? The criminals? Oh, my God, what an idiot. Carter said, by the way, this is his quote, by the way, those fraud allegations were uncovered by local law enforcement and our state attorneys general pressed charges. Our state's law enforcement presence is what caught that, is what held those folks accountable. So it's another example that we actually don't need. Those federal agents are not adding value in our community. Wow, that was kind of a long run-on and jumbled sentence. Anyway, he says they are actually doing quite the opposite by providing a destabilizing force. Now, Laura Coates asked a little bit later in the interview, do you think Minnesota officials should be taken to task for allowing or not realizing is probably the better phrase? Oh, give me a break. Don't give him that off. Anyway, that it was happening? Carter responded, those are really serious allegations, and it's terrible. The folks who did that, that's terrible. They have to be held to account. I'm really afraid to find out what the president's going to do when he finds out how much fraud European Americans are responsible for in this country. European Americans? Again, folks, why? You're either American or you're not. I'm sorry, I'm going to take an exception to this. I'm jumping off on the train. I'm jumping down another track. European Americans. He can't even say white Americans. He can't even say, see, look, dude, St. Paul, Minnesota mayor, dumbass. It wasn't Americans who perpetrated this fraud. It was Somali refugees and some of them illegal aliens that have come here and perpetrated all of this fraud. This wasn't Americans, folks. Seriously. What? Anyway, he continues. This is the idiot mayor. He goes, hopefully he won't try to take that out on all European Americans, including, by the way, the supposed mastermind of that Feeding Our Future scandal, who was actually the centerpiece of that, who was not Somali American. No, they weren't Americans at all, moron. Anyway, God, these people are just so damn dumb. Well, thankfully, ICE has decided to now head on over to Minnesota ICE has commenced the Great Somali Roundup in Minnesota. That's right. So we have reports now, this is in Town Hall, we have reports now that the Great Somali Roundup by Immigration and Customs Enforcement has begun. It's been looming as the Trump administration made it clear that mass deportations will remain a cornerstone of its immigration agenda. I think it should be the entire base of his agenda. But anyway, Raw's Alerts, which is a dumbass freaking account on X, they post bullcrap stuff almost all the time. They go, at this time, ICE officials and other federal agencies are actively conducting widespread enforcement operations targeting and sweeping up Somali residents around Minneapolis, or across Minneapolis. Well, no shit. When the local law enforcement won't enforce federal law, that's what has to happen. So, yeah. Anyway. All I can say is, and this is what the writer of the town hall piece says, all I can say is happy hunting. Yep, I can agree with that. Get on with it. Go and get it. The state of Minnesota is awash with Somali illegals and gang activity. They've created massive Medicaid fraud schemes, which have enriched terrorists, which was part of what was uncovered. We discussed this last night. It's totally, totally ridiculous that these people are even like trying to defend all of this crap. They're sitting here attempting to defend this stuff. It's like, really? Really? Yeah, they need to go. All illegal aliens need to go. They just need to get the out of here. Seriously. All right. Well, let me shift slightly to another thing. Now this, I got to tell you, in dealing with the idiots and morons and droogs that are part of the left, there is a reason why they are idiots, morons, and droogs. One, they don't bother to do things like, enact critical thinking, perform their own research. They just carte blanche grab and believe whatever it is that they see on social media. They grab whatever it is that they see and believe on, the mainstream media, which has been proven to be completely leftist and many times incorrect about things. I mean, how many times did you hear all of the leftist news programs talk about COVID-19 shots? Get your COVID-19 shots, for an example, rather than questioning it like they should have. Well, there's a new analysis of some data from a long-term national health study. Now, I am going to tell you that I spend time on social media. But the reason why I spend time on social media is, to be completely honest, it is the only marketing outlet that I actually have for this show. Now, I do not use social media as a full-on marketing powerhouse or whatever. But I am on social media, and I do engage with a lot of these morons and droogs who literally spend time, 100% time, on social media. Have you ever heard kids, especially like younger kids, say, "Oh my gosh, my video got like 1 million likes," or anything like that? Do you remember? I don't look. I'm going to tell you, I do track my followers because there is a truth in numbers in this business, which essentially is the more people that I can prove follow my show, the more likely I am to be able to garner sponsors and to be able to actually make some money doing this show, which is not my original intent and purpose in doing this. However, it would be nice to be able to make a living out of something like this, okay? I'm not going to lie. I'm being completely honest. I'm going to throw it out there. That's the way things work. And for me, the breakoff point is right around 10 grand, 10,000. If I can demonstrate to companies, sponsors, that I can consistently have 10,000 people watching this program every single night, I have a high chance of probability that I am going to be able to make a living doing this show. But that isn't the intent. That wasn't my intent bringing it out, and that isn't my intent now. Is it a goal? Absolutely. I would love to be able to do this full time. But I am not under any, umbrella or any fallacy or anything else to think that this is going to all of a sudden become my next greatest adventure. I hope it does. I'm putting a lot of work into it and effort into it to get it there. But that doesn't mean that I'm like spending a lot of time on social media. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, okay. So I'm back. It was a blip in the network. It was a blip in the network, and I see it. I've actually been tracking. I've been trying to. No, Rumble's not getting wonky, folks. It's not Rumble. It's actually my connection to my streaming. So, streaming service. And so, anyway, I'm kind of watching some things here, and I see it. Anyway. All right. So, yeah, we'll see if that actually kicks off again. Yeah, no kidding. If I'm going to be doing this for my job, I better have less technical difficulties like this. Anyway. All right, where was I at? Oh, yes. So there is a new analysis study that is indicating that adolescents, especially early adolescents, who increase their social media usage over time may actually score lower on certain tests in terms of and brain functions. So these findings are essentially saying that, and especially, by the way, the engagement, the research indicates that even moderate engagement with social media is linked to declines in reading and memory skills as children transition from early education to their teenage years. So this is another reason why, as parents, you should keep kids away from social media, because let's face it, they are actually losing. You're actually losing some cognitive abilities. So, you know, the All right. Okay, so folks, hopefully this is going to stabilize. I've been watching this. It's been going all over the place, and I don't understand why, but it's unstable internet is what the problem is. That's why you keep dropping out. It's unstable internet that is happening right now, and I'm getting a little frustrated with this. I don't know if it's, mainly my service or whatever, but my apologies for all of this. For those of you that are listening to the audio portion of the program, that is a local recording, and therefore you don't you don't have the same effects that I do or that the live streamers do, because obviously it's recorded, not live. Anyway. All right. I was going to talk about this a little bit longer, but there's a couple of contact Al Gore to fix it. Yeah. Right. Okay. So anyway, the investigation, this is an investigation into, basically modern childhood. And they've taken a look at some of the long-term impact of the developing minds based on this new technology. And basically what's happening here is previous research regarding screen time lumped interactive social media with passive activities like watching television or playing video games. So they couldn't really identify individually whether or not they, the special effects or the specific effects, I should say, of applications on social media, like social media apps and things like that, whether or not they would affect things directly. And it turns out that they do. And especially when you have things like personalized feeds, they've actually found that personalized feeds, personalization algorithms, like what you see Facebook and X and all the rest of them, okay, all the rest of them go along with, that these personalized feeds are actually creating an illusion that you're smart. An illusion of competence, a study has found. So the study, this particular study was conducted by a person from the Department of Psychology at Vanderbilt University, alongside a couple of professors from the Department of Psychology at Ohio State. And the research team for this study sought to determine if these algorithms affect basic cognitive processes when a person attempts to learn about an entirely new topic when they have no prior opinions. And they investigated whether or not the mechanism of tailoring content to increase consumption might inadvertently limit exposure to a broader environment. Now, this one in particular does have connections as to why leftists are so uninformed and so stupid. Because leftists get on things like Blue Sky, which is an echo chamber, and likely uses personalization algorithms. X uses personalization algorithms. I know because I comment a lot on leftist content, and the leftist content that I comment on, I end up getting more in my feed. Now, I don't necessarily 100% want all of that leftist content on my social media feed, but because of the fact that the algorithms are built such that when you comment on things, especially when you comment on many of the same types of things, you end up with a plethora of those things in your feed, because they think that because you're commenting on stuff that you actually like this stuff. And so this is part of the reason why people who live entirely on the internet, whether it's through social media, through the web, whatever, they are turning out to, and studies are showing more and more and more that these people are turning into literally brainwashed, stupid, moron idiots, which covers pretty much everybody on the left. Because that's all they do. They live online. And they comment on all of their wonderful things that, oh, these things are going on and they're wonderful and they're fantastic. And, they constantly comment and they want places like Blue Sky, which is a complete echo chamber for nothing but leftist ideology. That's why these people are so stupid. That's why these leftists are so full of crap, moron stuff, because they focus. Now, today's technology, I'm going to tell you, today's technology is fascinating, okay? Is absolutely fascinating. But at the same time, you have to take all of that with a grain of salt and understand that anybody can put crap out on the internet. Anyone can put crap out on the internet. And if they do, that means that you have to check and recheck and double check. Trust but verify. That was a Reaganism. But you need to understand and take things with a grain of salt. The problem is the leftists don't. They just automatically assume that just because they saw it on the internet, that means that it's true. And it's not. For an example, and one of my biggest examples, this whole thing about Katie Johnson. Oh, this Katie Johnson young girl, she got raped by Trump. No, she didn't. The reality of that particular story was found out to be that the people who were pushing that story were television producers from I believe it was the Jerry Springer show, but it was some sort of a reality show like that. And that the suit itself was dropped not because of the idea they thought, oh, she got paid off and, Donald Trump was threatening her. It was because of life threats. No, there's no proof of that. There's no proof of any of that happening. In fact, Katie Johnson is not actually her name, the accused person's name, or the accusing person's name, I should say, because the accused person was Trump. But the accusing person's name wasn't even Katie Johnson. And they had this video that they put out on YouTube and they blurred her face and, so on and so forth. Even the mainstream media outlets that are leftist outlets, they couldn't even find this particular person. They couldn't find any details. They couldn't find any corroborating evidence. They pretty much debunked it and dismissed it. And yet, because of the fact that all these leftist lunatic morons do is stay on the internet, stay in their little echo chambers like Blue Sky, and look at these memes that are falsely put together with false information all over the place, they can't even figure it out. They have absolutely zero clue as to what's going on in the real world because they don't bother to look at things. Denzel Washington looked critically at things. Denzel Washington was once quoted as saying, if you read the news, you're misinformed. If you don't read the news, you are not informed. And that basically is true for today. If you don't read the news, you're not going to know anything that's going on in the world. But if you do read the news, you're going to be misinformed about what's going on in the world. So you need to make sure that when you are, and I'm kind of saying this to all of my whiskey warriors too, you need to be very, very careful and very, very critical of everything that you read. Double check it. Check it with 2 or 3 different sources at the least. You need to be very cognizant of what you are reading on the internet and that anybody can put it on there and it can go viral. This is what I do pretty much almost every show. I verify, I check, I double check, and I recheck. And if something is wrong and I find out about it later, I'm going to let you know about it. But the fact of the matter is that we live in a information age that is so much information. So much information that, yeah, I'm definitely, we're going to, I don't even know what to tell you. There's just so much information out there that that you have to weed through the crap in order to get to the reality. And that's what we need to do. if we're going to continue to move forward. All right, folks, let's move on to tonight's. Let's see. I got to figure out which one this is. Where is it? Ah, there we go. All right, let's move on to tonight's pet of the week. All right, and tonight's pet of the week comes in from Bam over on Rumble. Bam says, "This is Buck and Lucy." Okay, so hold on here. I got to get this set up because, I was running behind. So here is Buck and Lucy. Let's get this a little bigger. There we go. There's Buck and Lucy. Buck and Lucy are two cats. And Buck and Lucy apparently have been sent in before. Yeah, we've seen them before. But anyway, we now call Lucy Big Mama because she is big. So there's a couple videos. I gotta get those videos because again, I was running behind in my preparation. So give me a moment to find those videos really quick. You can look at the wonderful picture of Buck and Lucy staring at the door while I go and grab these videos. And oh, here we go. So this is the video there. Let's okay. So here's the video of Buck and Lucy. I need to here we go. So here is Buck and Lucy. They are going to be watching a video on the screen while we watch a video of them. This is a bunch of mice running around on the screen for those of you that are on the audio portion of the program. And it's funny to watch cats whenever this happens because of the fact that the cats will go and like run around to the backside of the television to try and find the mice and figure out where the mice went. And that's what's happening here on the screen, is the cats are entertained by these mice that are running around on this video on the television, and they're trying hard to like figure out where do the mice go when they run off the screen. Where do they go? So anyway, and that first pic, by the way, that first picture was because of them. They were looking at a fly, I've been told, and I just realized that. So, yeah. So there you go. They're trying to figure out where the mice have gone on that. And now let me bring up the other video. This other video is apparently of the cats attempting to figure out their first water fountain. This is the first time they actually had a water fountain, and they're trying to figure out, first of all, what the heck is it? And how do you approach it? And how do you get it to actually get it to run? And so they're curious. They're trying to figure this out. And they're trying to figure this out. Okay. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that they're both orange cats, which is cool. I like cats like that. They're both orange. I don't know. Did you? Are they? You didn't specify, and I don't recall. Are they like related? Are they from the same litter? Anyway, Bam will probably answer here in just a minute. So let's take a look at some of these other pictures. So here is Big Mama in the chair. Ooh, she is big. Oh, there's Big Mama in the chair. And this was her, she's watching Jaws. The movie. And yes, both of these are from the same litter. So they're brother and sister. So that's cool. Let's see. And what's our next one here? Oh, well, this is one of them wearing a whiskey P1 hat. That's cool. Thank you for that. That was pretty cool. I'm surprised the cat actually, accepted that. All right. Here we have the two of them. The two of them exploring the Christmas tree. So, Thanksgiving weekend, when they put up the tree, Buck was sampling the water in the tree and had to do it from under the tree skirt. That's why he's underneath. You can see the tail right there toward the bottom of the photo, going to get a picture there. And Big Mama was just supervising and saying, yeah, how do you get under there? Oh, yeah, you go underneath that. So anyway, the tree is obviously missing some ornaments. There's only lights on the tree. There's a reason for that. I would say because of the two kitties. And Bam doesn't believe that the two kitties are mature enough yet to leave the kitties or leave the ornaments alone. So that's why the tree is a little bare from ornaments. So anyway, so there you go. There is Buck and Lucy, tonight's pet of the week. And of course, I thank you, Bam, for submitting that pet of the week, and all the little videos and pictures and images. If you would like to submit your pet for pet of the week, all you need to do is send me pictures, videos, stories, information, that kind of thing, and send it off to fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online. And I will, of course, feature your pet on a Wednesday night pet of the week. That is it for me for this evening, folks. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com. Get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are signed up and signed in, make sure you hit or search up the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified every time that I go live. And before you leave, yes, you're going to be subjected to my wonderful singing voice, because we have a Whiskey Warrior P1 who has a birthday today, known as Ms. T of Texas. In the chat, a wonderful 21st birthday to Ms. T of Texas, right here on American Perspective. Happy birthday, Ms. T. And here is your birthday song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Ms. T of Texas. Happy birthday to you. And many more. And apparently it's also Coco D, insert name here's mother's birthday today. So happy birthday to both of you wonderful ladies. And I hope you had a good one. All right, folks, again, that is it. Do me a favor before you take off. Hit me a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or, of course, if you're a 3 Chevy, give me a thumbs sideways. Across all my platforms, whether it's X, YouTube, Facebook, and, of course, the aforementioned Rumble. We will see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Have a great rest of your evening, and hopefully I won't have internet problems tomorrow night, but have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Good night, everybody.